Attention, go. It is Columbia nearest to the shore, Princeton in the middle, Georgetown furthest from the shore, closest to the camera. All three crews have come off cleanly, and we have Princeton in the lead by a deck early on in this varsity lightweight 8 race. Princeton in the lead, Georgetown and Columbia even. Maybe Georgetown by a half a seat over Columbia, but it is still Princeton by a deck as we go through, as we approach the 250 yawn. Georgetown getting a little bit more from Columbia, but it is Princeton by a third of a length over Georgetown and a half of a length over Columbia. All three crews have settled into their base cadence. Princeton is moving the best. They are lengthening their lead to a half length over Georgetown, 3/4 of a length over Columbia. Georgetown's calling an early move, trying to stay with the pace set by the Tigers, and they are moving back up on Princeton, but it is still Princeton by a half length over Georgetown, and they are about a length over Columbia. Coming into 500 gone, it is Princeton in a time of 1:27 over Georgetown and Columbia. So the guys go past their 2V teammates. Princeton is back on the move. They're going from a half length to 2/3 of a length and taking more. Tigers on the move, Georgetown trying to respond. Georgetown fumbling a little bit in this wind, and Princeton is capitalizing. A little gusty wind in this second 500. There's Princeton in control with deck overlap over Georgetown. Columbia staying in the same spot behind Georgetown. Actually crawling back up, maybe to contact with Princeton. This lightweight league racing, always tight racing. Mike Pearl calling for the walk. He wants to shut this race down early. Calling for his seniors to open up an open water advantage over Georgetown, and they are responding. Mike Pearl calling for an open water lead, and he's got it. It is Princeton by a seat open over Georgetown. Georgetown by a third of a length over Columbia as we come into the 1,000. It will be Princeton, your leader, through the 1,000 in 2:57. Now is Georgetown responding. They've closed that open water advantage down. They are 1 length back. So can't call this race over yet. Georgetown moving the best right now. They've closed that advantage. They've got deck overlap, trying to get their bow ball into the cockpit of Mike Pearl. And now Mike Pearl sees that move and he is responding. See if Georgetown can go with Princeton. He's looking over. Mike Pearl looking over at the bow ball of Georgetown. Columbia fading off of Georgetown's speed. They're a length back. But can Georgetown make a move to stay with the Tigers? The Tigers are on the move now. They've opened back up to open water over the Hoyas. Let's see if the Hoyas can respond. Approaching 500 to go. It is still Princeton by a length, maybe a seat open over Georgetown. Georgetown a length with a little bit open over Columbia. Georgetown has just been sitting that 1 length down the entire race. See if they can put together some sort of move to get back on terms with Princeton. Maybe make something happen as we go into this final 500. Princeton through 500 to go in a time of 4:28. Georgetown's taking the cadence up, trying to get back up there with Princeton, but I got a feeling these seniors in this Princeton boat aren't going to let that happen. Georgetown's closing to a closed length advantage, trying to get their bow ball back in there with Princeton. Not going to call this race yet, but it looks like Princeton is well in control as we come into 2:50 to go. As you can see on the video feed, we have a straight crosswind coming from the finish line shore right into the launch. Princeton seems to be handling that just a bit better than Georgetown. Columbia fading off at the pace. Now Princeton taking the cadence up in the last 200, lengthening back out, taking their advantage back up to slight open water. And it will be Princeton winning the Fosburgh Cup. Nick Donald over the line first, over Georgetown and Columbia. Congrats to seniors Nick Donald, Christian Klein, Robin Prendez, and Mike Pearl.